Here is a psychological reality that is probably going to hurt. The higher your intelligence, the better you are at lying to yourself. We like to think that being smart protects us from making terrible choices. We assume that a high IQ is a shield against bad investments, toxic partners, and ruined careers. It isn't. Intelligence does not cure bias. It simply gives you a more expansive vocabulary to defend it. Think about a time you stayed in a toxic relationship far longer than you should have, or a career path that made you utterly miserable. If you are a highly intelligent person, you didn't just stay because you were scared. You stayed because you turned your misery into a research project. You didn't leave your partner. You diagnosed their avoidant attachment style. You mapped out their childhood trauma. You didn't quit the job that was slowly crushing you. You meticulously calculated the sunk cost of your degree and the precise trajectory of your future promotions. You used your brilliant mind to build an impenetrable fortress of logic around a terrible decision. Why do we do this? Because of a psychological trap known as Dysrationalia. It is the silent, devastating gap between your raw processing power and your actual judgment. We are taught that the human brain is like a scientist. We assume it gathers facts, weighs the evidence, and carefully arrives at the objective truth. But it doesn't. Your brain is not a scientist. It is a highly paid defense attorney. Its only client is your ego, and its only job is to win. When you want to do something out of fear or pride or a desperate need to feel loved, your emotional brain makes the decision in a fraction of a second. Then, your inner lawyer immediately drafts a brilliant, logical-sounding legal brief to justify it to the world. Here is the paradox. If you have a high IQ, you don't have a better scientist looking for the truth. You just have a much more expensive lawyer. In 1920, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the genius who created Sherlock Holmes, was completely fooled by two children who took photographs of themselves with paper cutouts of fairies. His friends told him it was a hoax. The photographic experts told him it was a fake. But Doyle was grieving the loss of his son. He desperately wanted to believe in a world beyond the physical, so he didn't use his genius to see the obvious paper cutouts. He used his genius to invent incredibly complex theories about lighting conditions, exposure times, and the vibrational frequencies of the supernatural. When the truth threatens our emotional survival, we don't change our minds. We use our intellect to manipulate the data. This is the ultimate tragedy of the intelligence trap. The smarter you are, the more your ego demands that you are never wrong. You become a master of the bias blind spot. You can instantly spot the logical fallacies in your friends, your family, your political rivals. You see their self-deception with crystal clarity. But when you look inward, your intellect weaves such a beautiful, coherent, data-driven narrative that you mistake your rationalization for reality. Your intelligence becomes a weapon you use against yourself. You optimize your entire life for being right, while quietly, desperately, sacrificing your happiness, your time, and your truth. You cannot outthink your own biases. You can only step outside of them. The only way out of this trap is a profound, deeply uncomfortable shift in how you talk to yourself. It requires abandoning the arrogance of the statement, "I know I am right," and embracing the vulnerability of the question, "How do I know I am right?" Look at the heaviest burden you are carrying right now, the argument you refuse to drop, the path you are terrified to leave. Are you actually on the right road, or did you just hire a brilliant lawyer to keep you locked in the wrong room?